you have expectations with this car, you get yourself in trouble. So, you just go out and see how the race is and where you can run on the racetrack and kind of go from there. It's kind of trial and error at this point.
Mark Rushbrook told me you are as committed as ever. He's really impressed by your stick-to-itiveness, the fact that you're studying hard, you're doing a lot. Mark Rushbrook.
Ford.
Yeah, he had huge compliments for you on where you're at right now.
I don't speak to him that much, so it's hard to tell. Who's who? Okay.
Do you not where you wanted qualifying, but it sounded like you were decent and you kind of fit.
Yeah.
You kind of know where to go. So do you feel decent about tomorrow?
Yeah, I do. I felt like the speed in our car was pretty good and handled well. We just missed it, from a handling situation there and qualifying. But yeah, I think the speed of it's fine. Even with the big tight moment there in 3 and 4, it still had plenty of speed. So,
how much of this improvement? Because hasn't that kind of been an issue at times this year? Is trying to find that speed compared to some of the other manufacturers?
Not really. I mean, we had a chance to win at Pocono and Loudon.
5 wins here. How does that translate? Next gen car versus the car you had before.
There's no translation. You just don't know how the race is going to go. You don't know the style of race. You don't know where you're going to be able to run on a racetrack. You don't know the characteristics of the car. There's just so many things that you have to figure out. And the only way to figure that out is to race.
So you don't think back, like, at 5 wins here, I feel a little more confident? Not at all.
Not really.
Last week you said something on radio telling you all 5 that ran into each other so you could wreck all 5 of them. Do you kind of expect the same at Watkins, Glen, or is it different?
It doesn't really seem to be that bad. Indy's racing in a parking lot, so Watkins Glen actually has a runoff area and a first corner, and it's actually a real racetrack. So I think you'll have a little bit of beating and banging there, but there's somewhere to go on the exit of the corner, and you're going to have some stack up, but it won't be like parking lot racing.
And the Roval's was the same thing.
The Roval's different because it's so slow, and there's just it's not, you're not going 100 and some miles an hour going into the first corner and trying to stop and make a 90. So I mean, you're making a 90, but the Roval's just it's just a different scenario there, just than Indy. Indy's just not good.
Last week we saw some fires. Some cars have kind of caught fire. They were talking about foam being in exhaust, catching fire, and yet we see the Larson hit with Ty Dillon, and they're both Dillon sore, but no significant injuries.
That's the justification to the hit.
Right?
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know what to think about this car. Like there seems to be things that you're like, gosh, that need to be fixed, and then there you see something like what Larson and Ty Dillon go through, and I wonder whether I'm making too much noise.
I don't think you're making enough noise. It's never the first line item on the to-do list. So, I can tell you from a driver, every time I hit something, it's a lot harsher than any hit that I took in any of the other cars. The only thing I can compare it to is hitting a concrete wall compared to what it used to be. So, I think that's the issue. It's not, you look at the cars and they're like, oh man, they look great. And that's the problem. Nothing flew off of it, right? That's the problem, and all that energy is absorbed through you. So it feels like you get hit by the hammer and the car survives, but is that really what you want? Like, you know what I mean? So I think the cars are all together and that looks great, but it doesn't feel great.
Did you get any other conversations after your comments last week? I know you talked about wanting things to happen a lot sooner. Has anybody talked to you, or was that was last week was just your chance to? Nobody's talked to me, so I'm finally just gonna.
I just tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I just tell you what I think, and I think that's just what I think. So.
But
the answer is no. Okay. The answer is no.
But if you're so
That's
concerned, would you not? They would listen to. Wouldn't you march into the hauler? I mean, you're Kevin Harvick.
What's that going to do?
You tell me.
Nothing. It's going to do absolutely nothing. I have my opinions of what I think, and that's really it. You have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. It's not mine. It's not whether I would do it differently or not. It doesn't matter. It's not my situation. So.
Jeff Burton's been, I think, talking to people about the fires stuff that they saw last week. I mean, do you feel like
That's not the first time that's caught on fire, though.
No, but my question was: do you think that Jeff Burton, having him in that role, is like? Do you feel like you need to talk to them, or is Jeff Burton kind of handling this kind of these talks?
I think it's
with
slow either
drivers?
way.
Okay.
That's my opinion. You know, and I know that the fix is not you know, I don't think anybody knows what that fix is, but it's not going to be high on a priority list because it's going to be expensive.
Okay, but, all right, I'm gonna ask you a tough question, see how you handle it. If it's me and I'm you, and if it is serious, I wouldn't wait, even if somebody, I would be not just talking about it, I would be banging on tables, because my
Yeah,
safety.
but there's nothing going to get fixed today. So I do the things that I can fix myself and make sure that all my stuff is as right as possible. Those are the things. I worry about the things that I can control. And the rest of it's just an opinion that I have.
What was your opinion of North Wilkesboro?
I thought it was great. You know, I was really happy that the community came out and supported the event. That was the best part. I think it caught everybody off guard how many people actually showed up, you know, to watch the modified race. I think it would have been, I think all these races would have been super intriguing. It was intriguing anyway, but it would have been just massively intriguing if you could actually get tires, because I think there would be 100 late model stock cars. There would have been 60 or 70 modifieds, and you can't get tires. And you know, that's really kind of been the detriment of a lot of racing, just because of the fact that short track racing in general, that you can't get tires. And I can't even imagine how many cars would have shown up, you know, to that particular event. But the main thing is the people from the community showed up, and I would, you know, hopefully they keep showing up and keep participating in the event, because it's a cool facility, right? And, I mean, there's just something about those old nostalgic facilities that you know, you can go back to and kind of go back in time. You know, it'll still be great when it's repaved, but it still won't be like it will be for this next month and a half.
There's obviously still a lot of work to be done there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, in your mind, a path to any type of national series race for this?
I don't know why you'd go through all that work and not have something like that there. So that would be, that would be ludicrous to think that track is just going to survive off of late models and modifieds, Saturday night shows. No way. There's no way. There's got to be some sort of plan for trucks or Xfinity or something that goes into that.
You think Cup could go there, or what would it? I mean, obviously there's still a lot would need to be done, but what would you think need to be done?
There's a lot of work.
Yeah.
that would need to be done there. So I don't know the workload, but I mean, we need more.
Yeah.
Need more of those types of facilities. So, you know, and then there's just way more that goes into it than just saying I think it would be great to go there. I know that, so I don't dare say that. I don't
That's
dare
more
say
work.
that. Yeah, I don't dare say that, because it's, you know, it's not like a safety item opinion that I have. It's, you know, that's a business that would have to have lots and lots of thought of and money of infrastructure. But you know, I think the short tracks, I think we've all of us that are old enough that have kind of lived through this phase of 1.5 mile tracks and getting rid of the short tracks. Now we're back at get rid of the 1.5 mile tracks and let's go back to short tracks and road courses. So it's just it's a cycle that North Wilkesboro has fortunately survived through, that, you know, I think it will be in the conversation, but you know, it is still close to Martinsville, it's still close to Charlotte, Bristol. So there's way more that goes into that equation. But for trucks and Xfinity, it would be a no-brainer for those series for sure. And it's going to be way faster when they repave it, so it's not going to be like it is now.
Have you talked to Kurt Busch at all?
I've texted with him a little bit here and there.
Okay. So like, do you get? I guess when we were talking about safety, that's obviously his injury is the biggest one we've seen. I'm curious if you've gotten any sense from him on.
I mean, I don't really want to get into any of that. I mean, that's really for him.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's just from the outside looking in on what you think you need to improve on. And I can tell you that, you know, hitting anything in these cars is brutal inside for the driver.
Do you not think, though, that when you're talking, you're very much honest to the media and you say what you think, as you said, that it's heard? I mean, it's being aired everywhere. It's being wouldn't that be something you'd think they would, you think they don't listen, but they have to be, there's so many people asking you and it's everywhere.
Yeah, well, I'm not the only one talking
Right.
about it, so it's you know, it needs to be the first line item, not third.
You got Kyle Busch signed yet?
Kyle Busch.
Well, gotta go.
All right, it's a good